What movie do you absolutely love, yet acknowledge is not a super well-made movie? Hackers. Hot garbage, but God do I love it. Hack the Planet. I still have real affection for Mortal Kombat, 1995, even though I admit half of the movie looks like deleted scenes from Xena Warrior Princess. Those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. This is the part where you fall down. Extra flops dramatically to the ground. Where do you get these guys? Arnold Schwarzenegger's 1987 masterpiece Running Man. There's no finer example of late 80s dystopian cinema, no better example of Schwarzenegger making a film work when it had no business working, no film closer to the pure joy of the early 90s show American Gladiators. You can actually see the stunt props in the final film. It was as if Running Man was entirely shot and edited by a coke-addled Paul Michael Glaser thinking he was still playing Starsky. My fellow Redditors, if you have not immersed yourself in the moving picture intellectual orgasm of Running Man, you have not truly lived. Waterworld. I know, there are huge plot holes and some major plot lines just don't make any sense at all, but it's still an entertaining movie and the parts that make any sense are very well done. Plus Costner. I will always love that movie. It's so whack, but just the best villains ever. And the fact that their home base is the Exxon Valdez is just. God, I love that movie. Twister because it's dumb, fun, and Dodge Ram. I still randomly quote that movie. Cow. We have cows. Another cow, I think that's the same cow. Every time somebody asks if I know where I'm going, I come back with rabbit is good, rabbit is wise. To date, 2 people got the reference. Demolition Man. For whatever reason, one of my local TV stations used to air this movie every Easter Sunday, so whenever I see it I remember family get-togethers at my Nana's house. Plus, watching Wesley Snipes say cold as Haagen-Dazs always makes me laugh. For whatever reason, one of my local TV stations used to air this movie every Easter Sunday. A persecuted man is resurrected to save everyone. What more reason do you need? Everyone knows Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I think you just made Demolition Man an official Easter movie. Oh man, do I love Congo. It's really not good. The script is hilariously terrible. There are a lot of great actors in it who seem to know what kind of movie they're in, and a few not so great actors who don't. We used to watch this with Anaconda for a When Animals Attack drunk double feature in college. I read the book before I saw the movie and that was a huge mistake. The book was actually terrifying unlike the film. Same with Sphere. Michael Crichton books are wildly entertaining. He also wrote Jurassic Park Andromeda Strain, wrote that in medical school, Eaters of the Dead, movie was 13th Warrior I think. Dude just shits out action books. Like the John Grisham, Dan Brown or Tom Wilkinson for his genre. Roadhouse is objectively a ridiculous movie but I love it. Swayze could make things work that never should have worked. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. The plot was so full of holes that it just stopped making sense. Once you leave that behind it's extremely entertaining and so awesomely bad. How Rose Lindsay overlooked all of the illegal shit happening he'll never know. The dishes are done, man. Evolution, 2001. It's an impressive mix of contrived, slightly problematic, and ridiculous but somehow it just works for me. I think it's mainly because I think Orlando Jones is amazing in anything Hess in. Sky High. Sidekick. The Underworld movies. All of them. Pure, perfect early 2000s leather-covered trash. Bill Nye being a Bill Nye vampire. Kate Beckinsale going about Kate Beckinsaling. Everything just so blue and moody and blue. Such beautiful trash. I was so happy when Bill Nye was in Castlevania. He's just made for overdramatic gothic nonsense. George of the Jungle. It's an iconic movie of my childhood but seems to have just fallen through the cracks for so many. It was stupid, silly and even for what it was just a rather weak movie, not an outright bad movie but not iconic as I view it. Then Brendan Fraser added his charm to it. Very few could have had such a transformative effect on a movie in my opinion. Edit, thanks for the awards. Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. I ducking love that movie, I don't care what anyone says. Yes, Kevin Costner is ridiculous in it and we get his accent comes and goes. But Alan Rickman is incredible and I absolutely adore Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio as Maid Marian. It's a great movie. 13 Ghosts. What an awesome concept, with actual lore. Were you aware this was a remake? In the original, the audience had to wear special glasses that allowed them to see the ghosts on screen. This idea was incorporated into the plot for the later movie. Fun fact, the glasses allowed you to either see the ghosts or hide the ghosts if you were scared. Here's a pic. Edit. The opening sequence gives you a taste of what it would have been like, especially if you happen to have some blue-red 3D glasses around. Overboard, with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Edit. You've no idea how happy it makes me to see this comment taking off. Thank you all. We are not alone. Edit. Hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself. Limitless is far from a perfect movie. But I love the concept so much that I've watched it several times. Jumper. In which Hayden Christensen and Sam Jackson evolve past their Star Wars roles by starring in a movie where Sam Jackson is part of a religious order attempting to limit the unnatural powers of Hayden Christensen. Van Helsing. Anaconda. Jon Voight's wink at the end? Classic edit. Love the sequel too. Doesn't matter, there aren't any anacondas in Borneo. Facts don't matter in these movies. Without a paddle. It's like a comedic Stand By Me. Thank you for breaking glass where my kids play. 13th Warrior. It's one of my absolute favorite movies of all time and has a special place in my heart, but it feels like it's not especially well made. Loved this movie as a kid. The learning language scene is still one of the best. How did you learn our language? I listened. Now and then. I know it's an oversimplified gender swap Stand By Me and the casting choices for the adult version of the characters were a bit questionable, but goddamn I love that movie. It came out when I was close in age to the kids at a time when adventure movies featuring girls weren't super common. And the young actors, and brief appearance of Brendan Fraser, were so good. I'm surprised the Chronicles of Riddick isn't on here yet. One of my guilty pleasures. Ada, while I'm so happy there's a ton of Chronicles fans, its ratings are by far the lowest of the trilogy. #reception. I stand by it has issues, and that I just don't care and will watch it almost any time I run across it, and I can rarely watch anything more than a couple of times. Good Burger. Super Mario Bros., it's like someone let Ridley Scott loose inside Nintendo HQ. I ducking love this movie and it is goddamn terrible. Nothing's impossible, Mario, only improbable. In Time. Cool idea, okay movie. All the Resident Evils. I adore them. Even the overacting of Jill Valentine. Joe Dirt. The Replacement's pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever. The Core. Let me make a correction, it actually is a well-made movie, but the core concept, no pun intended, is absurd. The science is hilariously bad in this movie. But it takes itself just seriously enough for the premise to work. Not to mention it's got a killer cast. This is my favorite disaster movie. All of them are pretty bad on the science, but this one makes the most out of the absurdity. Absolute masterpiece. Practical Magic. It feels like a warm autumn hug to me. I love it so much. Dirty Work. Hello, real police? I miss Norm. Dragonheart. Corny as hell but will always hold a special place. I love the Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift. No shame. The acting is bad. The story is worse. The CGI laughable. IDGAF. I love it. Demolition Man. I love the ridiculous future society they envision. Have a mellow day, citizen. Anyone remember Mystery Men? Edit. Thanks for the upvotes, y'all. I put Mystery Men in the same class as Blazing Saddles, Galaxy Quest, and Kung Fu Panda. Parodies that know the heart of parody comes from love of the genre, and are still great examples of the genre being parodied. I'm gonna say any of the Tremors movies after the second one. Starting with number 3, in my opinion they just got way too fake looking and it was just laughable. I still love them all, with the exception of The Legend Begins. Not a fan of that one. Queen of the Damned, is it a shit movie? Absolutely. Does the music slap? Yes, it's a guilty pleasure movie for me. Best soundtrack of all time, lol. I still listen to it. The movie was god awful but I honestly thought Stuart Townsend was a decent Lestat.